All right, let's jump straight in. Every single day, we're all playing with these incredibly flashy, highly visible consumer AI tools, right? Chatbots writing code in seconds, image generators spitting out award-winning art, predictive algorithms that seemingly read our minds. But here is the thing that almost always gets completely overlooked. Software doesn't just run on air. There's this massive, entirely invisible, and unbelievably complex physical infrastructure making all of it possible. And that physical reality is exactly what we're breaking down in today's explainer.
So, if it's not just software magic, what actually powers the AI revolution? Your first instinct might be to point at those giant server farms, or maybe the famous semiconductor foundries stamping out the chips. But if we peel back just one more layer, the answer isn't really the foundries either. It's actually a single company sitting at the absolute dead center of the entire semiconductor manufacturing ecosystem. I mean, without them, those foundries literally cannot do their jobs.
We are talking about Applied Materials, ticker symbol AMAT. They are, for sure, the unsung heroes of the tech world right now. See, Applied Materials is the undisputed global leader in materials engineering. Simply put, they build the essential, ultra-precise equipment that makes advanced chips physically possible to manufacture. From the massive AI servers powering global data centers, all the way down to the smartphones sitting in your pocket, none of it exists without the tools built by this one specific company.
Section 1. The Epic Innovation Model, Accelerating R&D. Now, the sheer scale of their ambition here is just staggering. They've built something called the EPIC Center, which stands for Equipment and Process Innovation and Commercialization. It's a massive 180,000 square foot facility right there on their Silicon Valley campus. And this isn't just another corporate lab, okay? It's the largest ever U.S. investment in advanced semiconductor equipment R&D. The whole point of this high-velocity setup is to completely compress the timeline. They want to take a brilliant idea from a lab and turn it into a commercial product, stamping out chips on a factory floor way faster than ever before. And the wild part is, they aren't doing it alone. We're seeing a huge shift here away from secretive, isolated R&D and toward a highly collaborative, ecosystem-wide model. Just look at this roster. On August 11, 2026, UC Berkeley officially joined the EPIC Center, bringing top-tier academic research directly to Applied's state-of-the-art equipment. And they're working right alongside manufacturing giants like TSMC, Broadcom, Samsung, and SK Hynix. They're literally bringing the entire supply chain under one roof to build the exact kind of high-bandwidth memory and advanced packaging that AI absolutely demands. Section 2. Financial Momentum, Record-Breaking Q2. Now, this number is just huge. Back in May 2026, they reported their Q2 results, and they hit a record revenue of $7.91 billion. That's up 11% year over year. And we're not just talking top-line growth here. They posted record GAAP earnings per share of 3.51, which is a massive 33% jump, and a non-GAAP EPS of 286. The insane demand for their equipment is translating into some truly spectacular financial numbers. And trust me, the market has absolutely taken notice. Over the past year, Applied Materials stock has been on an absolute tear, delivering a remarkable 194% gain, with shares recently trading right up around the $548 mark. Look, when you're the one selling the foundational tools to the entire AI industry, Wall Street is going to reward that positioning big time. But it's not just about what they've already done, it's about what's coming next. CEO Gary Dickerson recently made a very bold projection. He expects their core semiconductor equipment business to grow by more than 30% in calendar year 2026 alone. Let that sink in. Growth like that, at this massive scale, it's a flashing neon sign showing just how desperate the global supply chain is for next-generation chip-making tools. And that growth projection is exactly why today, August 13th, 2026, is such a critical day for the company. It's earnings day. Wall Street is expecting a massive jump in fiscal third quarter earnings. We're talking going from 2.48 per share a year ago, all the way up to an estimated 3.39 per share on roughly $9 billion in revenue. In fact, options data is pointing to a potential 7.5% stock price move right after the announcement. So yeah, the stakes are incredibly high, but the momentum is undeniable. Section 3. Engineering the AI era. Pushing boundaries. The real driver behind all this is that foundries like TSMC are seeing these enormous revenue spikes, like their nearly 45% AI-driven revenue jump just in July. And that translates directly into real, sustained capital spending for suppliers like Applied Materials. Think of their new systems as the highly specific pickaxes and shovels for the AI gold rush. For example, back in June 2026, they launched the Centrospectral Sign ALD, which uses microwave plasma to uniformly deposit silicon nitride. They also launched the Producer Selector Mo Edge for selectively removing molybdenum in 3D NAND scaling. So what does that actually mean in plain English? It means they are giving chipmakers the ability to achieve flawless precision processing in microscopic, incredibly deep and narrow 3D structures. It's mind-blowing stuff. And they are quite literally pushing the absolute limits of physics at this point. In a partnership with the National University of Singapore, Applied Materials researchers actually developed an ultra-thin crystalline tungsten disulfide film that is just 0.7 nanometers thick. 0.7. When you're engineering materials at less than a single nanometer, you are unlocking the ability to build computer chips that are significantly faster, way smaller, and vastly more energy efficient. I really want to anchor this whole technical side with a fantastic quote from Dr. Prabhu Raja, the president of Applied Semiconductor Products Group. He hit the nail on the head, saying, as the industry pushes the limits of AI computing, the biggest opportunities are increasingly found in materials engineering. And that is exactly why all this matters. The real bottleneck for better AI isn't just writing smarter code anymore. It's about engineering the physical materials that can actually handle the intense heat and massive data loads these algorithms require.
Section 4. Geopolitics and Risks. Export Controls.
Now, when you're manufacturing the most strategic technological assets on the planet, you are inevitably going to run into some stark geopolitical realities. Recently, the U.S. Department of Commerce announced a highly publicized $252 million settlement with Applied Materials. This was tied to allegations of illegally exporting chip-making equipment to China's Semiconductor Manufacturing International Corp., or SMIC. It's a pretty stark reminder of the tightrope these tech leaders have to walk when it comes to global export tensions and strictly enforced regulations. But here's where it gets really interesting. When you hold that severe regulatory risk up against Wall Street's outlook, you actually just see overwhelming optimism. Despite the geopolitical hurdles and that hefty settlement, analysts are still incredibly bullish. UBS set a price target of $705, Needham at $740, TD Cowen at $700, and Stifel at $650. The broader consensus expects earnings to grow 29% in fiscal 2026 and then another 34% in 2027. It seems the sheer demand for this tech is just overriding the macro fears right now.
Section 5. The Foundation of AI. Building the Future.
So we've seen how Applied Materials is sitting right at the crossroads of this unprecedented global semiconductor demand and the massive race to build up domestic chip manufacturing. They're totally redefining R&D with their EPIC Center, and they're pushing atomic-level physics to its absolute breaking point. But I want to leave you with this one, though, to chew on. As these generative AI models continue scaling up, demanding what feels like an infinite amount of computing power, is our materials engineering actually going to be able to keep up with our imaginations? Or are we eventually going to hit a hard physical wall? It's a fascinating question, and honestly, it's one that Applied Materials is racing to answer every single day.